So this is the final day of the Tacticians Cup for EMEA, and this is also the final game. And we're going to focus today on one player who made an insane transition that I never saw it coming. And I'm going to explain also why this is so insane and how well he played, because I think it requires a lot of knowledge about the meta, but also about the win conditions of each comp, and also understanding what position you are in the tournament in order to win it if you pull the right move. So basically the player is Lekoko. As you can see, he's last of the lobby. This guy has destroyed day 2 of the competition. He made 5 first place out of 6 games, and the only game he didn't finish first, he finished third, meaning that out of the 48 points that he could score on day 2, he scored 46. I've never seen that. I don't even know if it happened in any region. If you know, please tell me in the comment, because it's kind of hard sometimes to follow everything. But for sure, this is an excellent player. So the idea here, he on day 3 didn't manage to perform such a great feat, but of course, he still had the best player standing right now. He has 2 points in front of the second player, which is Feroxis, as you can see here. So all Lekoko has to do in this game is to make sure he gets 2 more points than Feroxis. Or rather, I'll say it differently. If Lekoko if Feroxis has 2 more points than Lekoko from this game, Lekoko will still qualify from the tiebreaker. That's what I mean. So anyway, let's get into the game. We have prismatic start. I think it was Heimerdinger. And for now, I'm not on Lekoko's point of view, because this is the broadcast I made. I was mostly focusing Opal at the moment, but I will follow quite soon Lekoko, because this is going to be one of the most interesting game, and I realized later in the game that this is the guy we need to follow. Anyway, let's move a little bit forward. Let's check a little bit the lobby here. So what we have, you have double 61 with Living Forge, which is not necessarily great considering the item. Feroxis, so that the only guy who can take out the Lekoko's victory out of this competition is Feroxis. And then we have Lekoko with upward mobility. So this is very important. We're going to start here. Upward mobility allows you to buy XP for cheaper prices. And also whenever you level up, you get 2 free roll, and also you get 2 HP, right? So this is definitely a comeback type of augment. And so the strategy around that for Lekoko is to lose stage 2, is to lose stage 3. Of course, if you can kill a few units there and there in order to save HP, he will do it. But Kevin Parker has taken the Chem Baron prismatic augment. It means that we have another player in this lobby who also wants to open fort. So this is going to be a little bit of a battle between Lekoko and Kevin Parker about who is going to manage to save their lost streak the whole stages. And let's move forward a little bit. So yeah, let's move forward. We see that Kevin Parker and Lekoko are still losing. We have Lekoko who is going to take, I think he's going to take a tier or something like this, right? Now he's going to take a sword. He states he takes a sword because I know what he's going to build with that, of course. Let's go a little bit further. And I think the most interesting part is actually this part. I think that's the moment when Kevin Parker and Lekoko fights. But anyway, and as we can see here, Kevin Parker wins the fight against Lekoko. So basically, Lekoko managed to keep his lost streak and kind of grift Kevin Parker. But at the same time, Kevin Parker has to play Chem Baron units, and Lekoko can just sell everything, right? So that's why actually the Chem Baron has a huge disadvantage compared to Lekoko, and maybe it was a mistake to pick Chem Baron after someone picked upward mobility. So let's keep on going a little bit. Let's go stage 3. Sorry for the small delay. We have Lekoko in front of us. He basically put like, he has a decent board, like definitely not a board that will make him win streak, but enough to kill this Nunu, for instance, and save a little bit of HP while maintaining the last streak. Again, the main strategy here is to keep the last streak as far as possible in order to get as much gold as possible, because again, when your XP is cheaper thanks to this augment, you can do it as well with level up. Having more gold is actually much more valuable than any other game, as you can convert the conversion from gold to XP, instead of being 1 to 1, is being 3 to 4, which is a lot more interesting. So having a lot of gold is definitely the win condition whenever you pick one of these augments. So let's get going. Oh yeah, and one last thing, which I actually really liked it. Let me see if we can. Maybe I should do it a little bit faster here, like this. Yeah, it should be easier. So I called it during the stream, because I saw the choice and there was a Golemify available for Lekoko. And I did say that that was most likely the best choice. Yeah, exactly. This was most likely the best choice because, once again, you have a board, and he had a decent board. He had set 2, he had items, he had a little bit of units, he had a little bit of bench. So it made sense to pick Golemify, as it will make you weaker for sure. But at the same time, you don't care, because Golemify is going to be a huge front line for the late game that will help you having whatever board you want to play, right? So it's fine to trade the tempo of the mid game, as you don't have tempo anyway, and you pick the Golem that also kind of hurts quite a lot and allows you to clean up a lot of units here. He almost won, we could say, but fortunately, double 61 with mittens on Darius is nearly unkillable, to be honest. So now this is the board of Lekoko, right? He used a little bit of free rolls, not everything, just enough to make a board, just enough to make sure like you're not getting perfect every round. And then from that point, you keep on loose streaking. So let's continue. So Lekoko, that's interesting. Lekoko picked Silco with BF Sword on the carousel. So one thing I was talking about during the cast is like, you have a big golem, it makes sense to try to build around Dominator, because the golem will buy you a lot of time, so Dominators have the time to stack their AP and snowball the fight. One of the biggest issues I had though with Dominator, especially in this meta, is that Dominator is not top tier. Dominator is basically okay, but it's definitely not a comp that allows you to come back from the depth of hell. By that I mean, if you lose a lot of health like he did now, you will still lose fight during the late game. Unfortunately, there are comps which are stronger, and since you're going to lose some fights in the late game and you already don't have a lot of health, it's almost guaranteed a bottom. On the other hand, we have Feroxis. Remember, Feroxis, that's the guy who needs to make 3 points above Lekoko if he wanted to finish first in a Tactician's Cup and being the winner that will be qualified for the Golden Spatula. This guy has an incredible high roll game. He found 2 Twitch at level 6. He found Last Whisper Radiant. He found everything he wanted to. He's 100 HP, and he's going to stay 100 HP for a lot more rounds. And that looks very scary for Lekoko. And that's an information that he took into account. He says, okay, from that spot, if I just finish 5th, there's a high chance that Feroxis is going to be the winner of the tournament. And of course, he doesn't want that. He wants to win. So what is he going to do? Right now, we are focusing a little bit double 61 who does his transition. But after, we're going to look at Lekoko, exactly how he's going to stabilize his board And he's quite greedy with his economy because he's still very weak. He's still not using his advantages of XP and stuff like that. He's waiting for the perfect curve at 4-2 in order to stabilize his board. So let's check into that right now. So this is, okay, let's go into Likoko now. This is the omens. And he's picking, I think, Duo Q. Yeah, Duo Q, exactly, because having 5 costs is extremely important here. He found Mordekaiser, which is the win condition of Dominator. The problem, though, is that, yes, you can come back with Dominator if you have a Mordekaiser 2 with perfect items. The problem is that he has no item for Mordekaiser. He doesn't have QSS, he doesn't have Edge of Night, he doesn't have Nature's Tooth, he doesn't have this kind of items that allow Mordekaiser to literally win the fights by himself. So what he did is he rolled not everything, I'm hiding it a little bit, but he rolled just a little bit. He found Silcotu, that's enough. He doesn't want to roll more. He doesn't want to spend more money. He doesn't want to stabilize more because after all, he has a golem. The golem serves as a huge front line. Maybe he doesn't have Mundo 2, maybe he doesn't have Blitzcrank 2, maybe he doesn't have Elise, stuff like that. But it doesn't matter because he has a huge golem that's using as a front line. And that's why the Golemify earlier made a lot of sense, because while he lost more fights because of it during stage 3, it actually helped him to stabilize easily at stage 4. And that was the most important part here. So we can check another fight here. Honestly, he has a lot of 1-star. He did find LeBlanc, that's kind of high roll, but for sure, it's not the biggest win con of his comp right now. And what I said in stream right now is like, okay, dude, you stabilized, but you're not playing a comp that allows you to come back very hard. And that was what I was skeptical about his game plan, right? And I couldn't understand, like, why did you not pick Glows on Garen at the carousel to potentially make Quicksilver that you can potentially make on Mordekaiser and try to beat your Mordekaiser? And then after he took a blue buff, and I was like, okay, blue buff, that's kind of weird. Usually you don't play that. And I was thinking, okay, maybe blue buff on LeBlanc because that way she can cast faster, and that's how you have the best value of LeBlanc. And that's what he did. And I'm like, okay, fine. I still think that it was mandatory to try to build the Mordekaiser, but maybe you have noticed something that I didn't at that moment. I realized one round later is look at the bench. Look at the bench of Likoko. We see a pair of Blitzcrank. Yeah, for sure, that's normal. But half of the bench is made with Rebel units. We have Irelia, we have Set, we have Vex, and we have Jinx. And he's already thinking of the next move, while I think 99.9% of players would be trying to figure out like how to optimize the Dominator comp and stuff like that. And this is the moment when I started to realize that Dominator was just a little bit of a journey, you know, just a part of the journey, but he will get rid of it soon. Nothing wasted. That was like, this is good for Silco, and then he put that on Jinx. Honestly, I'm going to remove the camera for a second. This is me. This was me. this was my face. I didn't understand at this moment, and only after I started to understand. But yeah, basically he found Eli as well, and that's the genius of this guy. He's thinking, okay, just like I said, Dominator is not good enough. If I stay with Dominator, I'm maybe going to go 5th, 4th. But since Feroxis is still at 100 HP, I have to do everything, even if it's high risk, to have a much better late game comp than Dominator. And to him, it was Rebel. To be honest, he has the conditions. He has a lot of Shojin, he has a good front line, he has Jinx, with nothing wasted on her. So this is the genius of this guy. And now he's lost, of course, a few rounds because he's playing without an anomaly on his board. He's 23 HP. He started to transition everything. He sells almost everything. He sells Silco, he sells Mundo, maybe not yet, but he sold almost everything. He sold the Mordekaiser. He kept an Echo because he wants to play Echo for Ambusher. And that's everything he does. He's like almost level 9, has a lot of gold, has 14 for free reroll. So he uses these free reroll and he rolls, finds Jinx 2, finds Zoe, finds does he roll a little bit more than that? Yeah, put the 7 rebel, he has to do a lot of stuff here. Finds Ezreal 2, maybe okay, Zoe 2, Eloy 2, Perf, LeBlanc. He found everything. At the same time, he has 14 free rolls at level 9, so the odds of not finding your comb was kind of weird, right? So now he found everything, and he is the first one to take the win streak of Feroxis. So Feroxis, 3 entire stages at 100 HP, and the first time he loses, it's against Le Coco with this incredible transitions that I've never seen it, and I'm so happy like to say it. I think this guy is a genius. I mean for sure I'm biased. He's French, I'm French, of course. I'm rooting for him, of course. But I would say that this kind of transition is literally what makes me like TFT, what makes me like following this kind of players. And that's why Le Coco has always been a player that I have high standards of. And I think he has the sickest level in this set. And if this guy doesn't go to Worlds, I don't know what. I don't know. I think either EMEA is doomed, or we have incredible geniuses also that's yet to be born. Anyway, so this is the transition starting from now. The game is kind of easy, I would say. You have your Jinx full items. You try to build items for LeBlanc, for Zoe. He has a lot of frontline thanks to this Eloy 2 with great items, but also with the Golem. So yeah, that's it. Let's move a little bit forward. Now we're playing against, let's move a little bit forward. Yeah, so we're playing against Clemu, who's playing, I think, Enforcer. No, I see a lot of Rebels. Anyway, he did not find the 3-star unit, so I think he wanted to play TF reroll, but without TF3. So, of course, that's a 7th place, not 8th place. And now from this point, you just want to have offensive items, so Giant Slayer, maybe Nashor. Okay, he doesn't have a lot of choices. I think Le Coco took Nashor's Tooth, which is great. He can put that on Zoe. And let's move a little bit forward. Let's move here. Okay, Le Coco is already 4th place thanks to this insane transition. He's 25 HP. He probably he just needs 1% to die. Either it's probably double 61 based on HP, right? And he will be guaranteed to be qualified for the Golden Spatula by finishing first in the Tactician's Cup, and that's beautiful. So here, big damage with Jinx. Even though Double has a Victor, it was just too late. So yeah, Feroxis is downscaling quite hard. I think the issue with this comp Twitch is that he did play tempo very well with the Radiant Last Whisper, but at the same time, this comp is getting capped, and maybe he rolled a little bit too much at level 8. Maybe the right play, I don't have his point of view, was to not roll that much at level 8 and fast 9 while losing the win streak. But at the same time, maybe he did that because there were 3 players trying to play Twitch, so he had no choice but to roll down to 0 despite his win streaking, and that's it. So he had no choice. And thanks to that, Feroxis didn't manage to scale the way he wanted. But anyway, after double 61 loses, Le Coco will 100% be the winner of this Tactician's Cup. We have found a Mel with level 10, so we're putting items on Mel. With these items, she will cast many times. So it was guaranteed that our worst case scenario, he will use his last stand next fight. So even if he loses next fight, he will have his last stand, and he will buy one more round, making sure that he will finish at the very least 3rd. So let's check it here. We're playing against Feroxis again, which we kind of destroyed him earlier, but Feroxis is also level 10. He has a Warwick with the 7th experiment, I think, and it does nothing. Le Coco wins. Feroxis goes down to 5 HP. Double 61 loses. Le Coco finishing first of the Tactician's Cup with an incredible run, and now we're playing just for the beauty of TFT. So we can look at, we're facing, okay, the Ghost of A Boy Has No Name, a very, very good quality over quantity with playing, I don't know exactly what he's playing 6 Enforcer, I believe, right? I saw Vi, I saw Caitlyn, T-State Fate, I saw also GP. We're gonna see, but this guy actually kind of destroyed the game with quality over quantity enforcers, and that's really interesting. Most people like to play emissaries. I mean, it used to be like this maybe 1 week, 2 weeks ago, but I think people started to realize that quality over quantity is just broken, and you can play whatever you want with. So let's check a little bit here. This is the last fight. So we have Maddie, Caitlyn, Twisted Fate, Camille. I think this is Loris. I don't know who is that guy. Maybe Steb. We have Elise, Vi, and Echo. No, Ambessa. Yeah. So too many items, too many radiant items, and we don't manage to burst down this Vi. Like just Sterak is enough to make this Vi almost unkillable. Here we win. It was very close. But I think this is the last fight. We didn't manage to replicate this miracle. And yeah, just too much health, too much stats, too much shield, and impossible to kill everyone in one go with Jinx. Let's remember that Jinx has one of the biggest weakness. One of the biggest weakness of Jinx is the fact that she cannot burst down a big tank or a unit with a lot of HP and resistances like Vi with Sterak's Gauge. I hope you enjoy and learn from this too. See you in the next video.